What's up, boys? Welcome back to another episode of Is It Riz or Is It Autism, where we do not talk to women and we just go to the gym and go throughout our day instead. Unless you count this little guy, because he doesn't have any balls anymore. Also, there's two girl dogs here, so is this like a dog strip club? Because you can look, but you can't touch. Anyways, what we got today is a squat day. We've got a kind of like a lighter squat day. We're only working up to 585 for a 6x2, but it's got a little bit of pizzazz added to it with a slow eccentric, 6 count eccentric 6x2. I don't believe there is a programmed rest period for that because the entire time in between sets you'll be contemplating autoerotic asphyxiation or just masturbating with sandpaper. I'm probably gonna have to edit that out because YouTube's probably gonna demonetize the video for me saying that within the first minute of the video. But anyways, got my breakfast. 2 bagels, honey. It's supposed to be 40 grams of honey, but I just put enough honey that there is honey on every side of the bagel. 180 grams of beef and 3 eggs and 2 slices of American cheese food. Let me take a look. So I've been putting slices of cheese on these breakfast sandwiches. It's not programmed, but who cares? I got, what is it called? Pasteurized processed cheese food. So, I mean, cheese isn't on the program. Didn't say anything about processed cheese food. The more you know. Buddy walk. And since it is Monday, or is it Monday? Squat day. We go to the gym later, so we got our video editing to do. Because I go to the gym later, I don't like to start and then stop Uber Eat with discrete times. So I've kind of allocated Mondays, since I have to go to the gym, to be at the gym for 7 p.m. to be video editing days. And Sundays, which would have been yesterday's video, I tell myself that I'm gonna Uber Eats after I gym, and then I end up going to the gym at like 9 p.m. So I should probably allocate that day similarly to my Mondays, because I have a large backlog of videos. I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind with the recorded and posting of videos. I need to get that back in order and back on track so I can get back to recording the educational videos, because if I go to the gym, or if I'm all caught up with that, I will have more time to go to the gym. Yes, I'm very tired and I'm leaning back. I'll have more time to go to the gym and record those, because those take 10 times as long, because I don't script them. So I've got a lot of ADHD rambling moments, and I have to edit those to make sure I'm not talking in circles. So the next one is supposed to be the best beginner program, which is 531, but it only works when you're a beginner, and then you have to kind of transition to intermediary programs that work a little bit better for lifters with some experience and meet numbers. So I have a plan for that. I don't have time for that, so I need to probably, once I get all caught up with the editing of these vlog videos, probably allocate Sundays towards recording those, Mondays to editing the week's worth of videos and that video, so that I can kind of get on a routine, because autism, I work real well under a routine, and if I don't find that routine, I implode. So that's what we're working on today. And my fountain pen broke. It was a shitty fountain pen anyways. Pre-training food, 240 grams of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and 16 ounces of fat-free protein. That's sour. Alright, boys, we're finally on our way to the gym. We're supposed to be squatting at 7, and it's currently 7:30. It sucks living with other people who they kind of get in the way of keeping a strict schedule for yourself. So maybe a little bit of cognitive bias there, because the cognitive bias is the idea that like you hear all these people about talking about how they carried their team, but their team still lost, and their team sucks, and this and that, and they don't place any of the blame on themselves. So I am to blame a little bit for my own tardiness, because I am not in a position to be living alone. So there's that. Anyways, we've got squats today. What do we got for squats? We've got 6x2, 585, with a 6 count eccentric, which means we're going down as slow as possible. I likely will not be counting 6 count, or I might have someone count for me 6 count, because we're going to the gym when there's other people there, because I need to be centered. So it might not be a bad idea to have someone do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That sounds like a lot. So we got that. I don't know if we have any back downs, but it's hard not to tell yourself in your head, hey, it's only sets of 2 at 585. We're in sleeves today. It's not gonna be that hard, because I mean, if every training day was easy, you wouldn't get stronger, right? Because you got to adapt to a stimulus. So the goal of today is mostly testicular fortitude, because it's only 585, but we're doing the slowest count eccentric. So minimum, we've got about 20 seconds of time under tension. So there's that. But like when you unrack a bar, your body automatically develops this like timer of how long can I be under this? And you can, like if you've done your bench PR number of reps versus a bench where you scraped by at the same weight, but you took your time. If you look back at the videos, chances are those 2 times are about the same. I noticed this back when I was with my previous coach. We had AMRAPs on squat, and we would do it was 5th set, so we do like a 4x2 plus an AMRAP. And the sets where I really took my time, which developed bad habits. I took my time and tried to settle the bar a little bit better and do full lockouts and be more patient. But it made the second rep a bit of a grinder. And then I would go and I'd do a set of 6. And I look back at the videos, same amount of time. So that's a hypothesis that I've developed and I've been supporting through my own findings and experiences. So this 6 count eccentric, without mentioning this hypothesis to my coach, is kind of working on expanding the balloon. Because like, you ever notice how when you blow into a balloon and get it real close to popping and then release all the air, the more often you do that, the bigger it stretches every single time because of the elasticity of the balloon. Now muscles are similar to that because they are elastic, but you've also got the biological factors going on where you can't add more rubber to a balloon, but you can add more muscles to yourself. So you keep blowing up this balloon until it's close to popping. Well, don't risk injury, but you find ways to increase the time under tension. And then the more often you do that, the more time you get practice with the time under tension, the more you're expanding your ability to cope with time under tension. So we just finished off a block where we were doing sets of 8. And we really worked on sets of 8 are a really high time under tension kind of thing. So we were getting real close to popping that balloon, and we expanded it to the point where we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We got to a 605 for a set of 8, which is a pretty good point to be at. We're probably gonna do something. I actually don't know what we're gonna do after the meet. It'll be interesting. Because we're going into a cut after the meet to drop 30 to 40 pounds, and then we bulk back up 30 to 40 pounds after the next meet. So it'll be real interesting. But today, 6 count eccentrics. We start off with our I guess it's not pre-fatigue work, it's more like a warm-up where we're really connecting into the neural connections of the muscles with the roller coasters, and we're stretching the hips out with the goblet squat holds. And then we finish off with it's lunges. Sorry, my brain represses memories of contralateral split squats because they suck and I hate them, but you got to do them in order to be big and strong. Doing contralateral split squat, and then we're finishing off with some core, some abs, some work to make the power gut a little stiffer, kind of like your mom makes all the boys who go into her house a little stiffer. Call yourself Stacy, boys, because your mom got it going on. That guy just made an illegal left turn. Cool. Hot diggity. Ooh, lordy, boys. Call my scrotum the Mobile Suit Gundam, because, boys, we got our testicles fortified. We got some built-up testicular fortitude. That's what I'm trying to say, boys. So, training day today. We started off with our, I guess it's our neural connection and blood flow work, where we do, I forgot what order we did it, but I mean, it's a roller coasters and It's like a single leg roller coaster where you basically do a kind of like a deadlift down to the knee with like a 10-pound plate on a single leg deadlift down to the knee with a 10-pound plate, and then you rock the plate back and forth, trying to connect to that neural connection and being able to be better at associating your center of mass with where it is and where it should be on your foot. And then we superset that with some blood flow things with the straight arm lat prayer, and we did 4 sets of those. And I mean, rest period's supposed to be like 60 seconds or 90 seconds. I don't really count my rest period with those because it's not strenuous at all. Then we moved on to the goblet squat holds. These prep the hips, the ankles, the calves, the knees for loading up on squats. It feels more like a stretch than something strenuous, but also it's feeding into that neural connection with the center of mass on your foot. That is a fancy ass Uber. It's got lights and everything, and a Donkey Kong. I don't know if that's an Uber or not because they've got a million anime. Nope, yep, they're definitely an Uber. I see the app on their phone. Anyways, oh, they even got videos for the back passengers. Oh, that's a 5-star Uber if I've ever seen one. Definitely not me. So the goblet squat holds are they stretch everything out and prep you, and it also taps into that neural connection that you have with your center of mass on your foot, because it is very difficult. Sorry about that. A cop pulled up next to me at a red light. But I forgot where I was. So we moved on to squats. Squats that were a little bit special. So we warmed up. I forgot to record my first warm up, but I mean, it's a warm up with the bar. It's the warm up with the bar. And we did our regular. So we did 10 reps with the bar. We did 6 reps with 2 plates, and then we did 4 tempo reps with 4 plates. Then we jumped up to the 585. So we went 415 to 585 in a single jump, and then we did the 6x2. So first 3 sets. So the first set, I was making sure, am I hitting depth? And I watched the video back, and I'm like, yes, I'm hitting depth. Second set, I was like, am I getting a little bit of a tilt going on? And I was checking. I was like, not really getting a tilt. Third, I mean, not getting a tilt, hooray. It's a positive thing. Third set, I was like, okay, how do the quality of these reps look when you break it down in the kind of scope of I'm doing tempo reps? So I noticed set 1, 2, and 3. I noticed that there's a technique when it comes to squatting in wraps where you use the wraps at the bottom part of the squat. And you can see Dan Bell do it in his world-breaking or record-breaking total. He is the master of doing it. It's like, I don't think there's an actual name for it because very few people can actually successfully do it. I don't even do it that much when I get heavy, but it's one of those things that I've practiced and I've thrown into my muscle memory when it comes to squatting in wraps, that when I'm in a good control, I kind of like dip or dive bomb the last couple of inches. And doing that in this modification to the squat is kind of mitigating the point and usefulness of this whole movement, because we want to have control throughout the entire movement. It's like, I don't have a metaphor because I'm tired and hungry and my brain's not really working, but you want to have control of the entire movement so that you can build up the muscles and all the right muscles, the stabilizers. Make sure that you don't like re-grasp things, because that's kind of what you have to do the dip. So I noticed in the first 3 sets I was doing the dip or the dive bomb, the bottom part dive bomb, which is really good for doing it in wraps, but it's not so good for this movement. So I adjusted, and because I was like, all right, am I accurately doing 6 count eccentrics? And when you're under a load, not only when you're under a load, but when you are in the eccentric of a movement, internally your count will be off. You will count faster than what is actually there. So I didn't have anyone count for me because there wasn't really anyone there to count for me. So I kind of just went off of my own internal count, which, I mean, that's cool and all. That's cool beans. So that's how I noticed I was doing the dive bomb. So I moved and I adjusted, and I told my coach about the adjustment, where I made sure that I was not dive bombing. And that was really all I focused on. I didn't count. I just went as slow as I could and made sure that I didn't dive bomb. And that was really good. And I made sure that on the last rep of the last set, I made sure I emphasized the range of motion. So I ended up with a 7 count on the 6th set of 2 at 585 6 count eccentric. So it was a pretty good squat day. We didn't really struggle with anything. It wasn't too hard. I say that. Yeah, it wasn't that hard. We didn't have our pre-workout today, which kind of sucked because I ran out, and I was asking my coach what I should do for my next pre-workout, and he was like, oh, there goes my light. He was like, get your blood work done and we'll talk about it. Natty pre-workout, don't worry about it. That's my finger. Pretty good day. Then notably, in the accessories afterwards, my contralateral split squat was more consistent and better than it has any of the previous weeks. So that is an accessory, I don't want to say PR, but a moment of progress going on there, and I'm super proud about it. And then additionally, with the sit-ups, I started cramping in my left lower ab, which means that we are doing some pretty good stuff. We are inflating the balloon, and it's getting pretty close to popping. So we're getting some pretty good gains and progress going on in both the main work, the squats and everything, because that was before the American Pro. I failed that squat training day. I could not do 585 6x2 with slow eccentrics. Was it before the American Pro, or because I recall, yeah, I recall bitching and complaining about slow eccentrics and my lack of ability. Yeah, I think it was before the American Pro too. So we've made leaps and bounds with our squats ever since that meet, because we sucked at squatting at that meet. Like, yeah, I squatted 1,003, but it was not a quality rep. So with the progress that we've made, it's getting a little antsy, a little exciting to see what we're going to pull out of our asses on the platform. So I'm really excited to see how the training and all the hard work and progress that I've made represents itself on the platform. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good time. I think we're like 14 weeks out, probably sooner by the time this video comes out, probably like 11 weeks out, or I don't know. But everything's coming up Millhouse. And so I've got I get my blood work done tomorrow. It's funny, the lab that I get my blood work done, I think it's called Private MD. It's like, you don't need, in some states, New Hampshire included, you don't need a doctor to prescribe or you don't need a doctor consult to get blood work done. So there's what is it? There's websites that pair themselves with labs, so like LabCorp or Quest Labs, and Private MD does that. And they sent me an email because I was talking to my coach. I was like, and nutritionist. I was like, what was the name of the website again? They're like, hey, look at this HRT clinic. It's probably a bit more legit, but it's probably, I don't, they thought it was cheaper, but it's not. And I went with the private MD. Anyways, because I've used them before, and they pair themselves off with LabCorp, which is I guess it's a medical contractor that basically just does blood work. So last time they couldn't get enough blood for all the tests that they ran, and so hopefully my veins aren't shy tomorrow. But the preparatory information that they sent me, they were like, fast for 12 to 14 hours before the blood work. And I was like, so I texted my coach and nutritionist, and I was like, do I skip my last 2 meals of the day? And they were like, no, don't worry about that. We literally take our coffees in with us. Back a couple. If you're an enhanced athlete, get your blood work done. Don't fuck around with that shit. You can't tell. The only time that you're going to be able to tell that there's something off is when you need to go to the hospital unless you do your blood work. So to mitigate that shit, get your blood work done. End rant. They also said something about not ejaculating for X amount of hours, and I was like, what does this have to do with... Am I coming with my blood work? Like, what's going on? It's the private MD bodybuilding male hormone test. It's like $140, $150. Not too bad. If you get it through your insurance, through a doctor, it'll take longer. Like, I set this appointment up like 2 days ago. So if you get a doctor's appointment, the doctor sets up the lab appointment, and then that. So it, like, if you go through a doctor, it's gonna take longer. Time is money, boys. And then you might not even see the results. And the LabCorp just sends me the results directly, and I send it to my coach and nutritionist, and they adjust my diet and program based on a lot of the numbers that come back. And they're very good at posting their personal lab work on their Instagram, being like, hey, don't forget to do your blood work because it's important, especially if you're an enhanced athlete. So, yeah, so I'm going to go prep dinner. I am going to do the exact same thing that I did yesterday. My brain was working better yesterday when I was Oh, look at that cheekbone. I'm a fat guy, but I got cheekbones. That's cool. You want my justification for what I'm doing with this dinner that I'm about to prepare? Watch the end of my last video. It'll explain everything. But we're doing pasta, meat sauce, cheese, and then some crumpets. And then we're going to bed, and we're going to wake up, and we're going to get our blood done. And then we're going to get some coffee, some breakfast. We're going to get some breakfast, but we're just going to put some Redcon 1 MRE in a shaker cup with some milk and be on our way. So that's our breakfast. And then we're eventually going to stop off at home, get some chicken rice and sauerkraut with mustard, and that's going to be another meal. So we got a lot of things going on. Let's go prep our food so I can like get my brain to work again, because I expended a lot of calories training today, and the brain requires glucose in order to operate, and it's obvious there's not much going on up there right now. So I'll see you guys inside. Boom, movie magic. So we've got 8 ounces of pasta. It was 8 ounces before I cooked it, so God only knows how much water it retained in the cooking process. 400 grams of Prego pasta sauce, 225 grams of beef, and a little bit of cheese, because sugar makes the medicine go down, and we need fats. So cheese is a good source of fat. And we also put some red pepper flakes on there for a little pizzazz, a little spice. Those little spicy boys. Yeah, buddy. And that's where we're going to be finishing off the day today. I don't want to be overly consuming. Get out of the beer. Come on. This is the struggle of having the beer. It's like in a fourth. There we go. I'm supposed to have 4 crumpets and jelly, but that's a lot of glucose all at once, and that'll probably skew the blood test results, whereas this one was a lot of like starches and stuff. So see you guys in the next one.